Does it really matter which mini shotgun microphone you get for your camera? Kinda no, but this one here, this Deity D4 Mini, is a little different. Is different better in this case? Let's find out. So any external microphone is going to drastically improve the quality of your audio, but you don't have to spend a lot to get something that really levels it up, because even on the fanciest cameras, the microphones are just terrible. So this is what the audio sounds like from my $2,000 camera, built-in microphones, and this is what it sounds like with just a $50 little microphone from Amazon. So you don't have to spend a ton. So the mic I plugged in is the Deity D4 Mini, and I'm going to record the rest of this video using this microphone so you get a bunch of sample audio, or if I do switch to a different microphone, I will note it in the video. But we're going to find out how well this performs, and I'm going to give you some pros and cons that I have observed from about 6 months of using this microphone. So I've been using the Rode Video Micro for around 3 years as my primary shotgun microphone for my camera, but last year I got a new camera, so I wanted to get a second microphone so I'd have a complete kit for both cameras. My big project of the year was my overlanding trip I went on in Wyoming, and for that whole trip, the Deity D4 Mini was my primary external audio capture device. So on the surface, it's a pretty standard issue $50 shotgun mic. So it's got the shock mount, it has the screw where it attaches to your cold shoe mount on your camera, and it includes the dead cat to help with wind noise reduction. I leave this on all the time, really, whether I'm inside or outside. I pretty much never have it off, but it's pretty important to know how well the microphone handles windy conditions, so let's check that out. Alright, so we got some wind here, which is extremely common on an Oklahoma day, so I think it's gusting to around 20 miles an hour or so. So this is what the microphone sounds like with some nice wind noise. I do have the dead cat installed, of course, and you know, it does a pretty good job. The audio, I'm sure, is totally usable right now. Maybe there are dead cats out there that do an even better job, or microphones that do an even better job at getting rid of wind, but it seems like it does a pretty decent job of capturing some usable audio when you're shooting in the wind, which for a lot of what I do happens, like on an overlanding trip or just out here making videos, vlogging around the house. There's a lot of times gonna be a lot of wind. You know, sometimes sticking the camera out the window of the truck when you're going 40 miles an hour, yeah, you're gonna have some wind noise. But if you're just out vlogging in some wind, you got a big gust coming through, you can probably hear some noise. Usually it seems like this dead cat can handle it pretty well. But what is it that makes this mic a little different? So there's a few things. One of them that was actually the reason that I bought this mic, decided to go with it instead of any other option, is that the plug to go from the microphone to the camera comes out of the side of the microphone instead of the back. A lot of the other options from Rode or Movo or whoever have the plug coming in the back of the microphone. And this seems like a tiny little thing, but it's actually really handy to have it on the side, because it means that I can lay the camera down on its back without worrying about stressing the microphone mount or the plug or anything. Now, this is especially in my application where I'm riding in a truck that's jouncing around and bumping and stuff, and when I set the camera down, I don't want to risk it rolling off of the seat or anything. So if I put it on its side like I had to with my Rode Video Micro, which has the plug on the back, then it had the potential to roll off someplace. This was, I guess, the primary gripe I had with the Rode microphone, and so being able to get around that issue with this microphone was pretty sweet. Another way this microphone's a little different than some is that while it is a shotgun microphone, which usually captures audio mostly in one direction, it actually has a super cardioid capture pattern instead of a cardioid pattern, which means it captures a little bit from behind the microphone as well, not exclusively in front. So this could be a positive or a negative depending on what your application is. So if you are somebody who's going to be talking from behind the camera a fair amount, yeah, it's great to have a microphone that captures cleaner audio from behind. Something I ran into on the overlanding trip was, you know, I was filming in high altitude and running up hills to then turn around and get a shot of the truck driving by, and you can hear more of my heavy breathing and gasping and stuff because you have the microphone picking up more from behind the camera. It's definitely a double-edged sword, but I generally think it's kind of nice having better audio from behind, because a lot of times I'd be maybe asking a question and then somebody answers me, and it's nice to have good, clean audio of me talking, not just the person that's in front of the camera. But probably the biggest difference about this microphone that other budget mini shotgun mics don't have is it has a auxiliary input in the microphone. So this means you can plug in a second microphone to the D4 Mini, and it will split the audio channels in the audio recording, and you'll have one channel being the D4 Mini's recording and the other channel being the other microphone. So I'm not sure of a ton of applications where this would be just super handy. The only thing I can really think of would be like an interview scenario. I'm not sure, but let's test it out real quick and just see how that works. Okay, so we have our awesome interview subject here, Dad, and we have the Deity D4 Mini with a very cheap lavalier plugged in here. One thing I'm seeing is a bit of a downfall here is that I'm not sure how to adjust the levels of this mic separate from this mic. This microphone's a little hot, looks like. But I'm talking here in the lavalier, and now Dad's gonna talk.
So here I am, first thing in the morning. Levi talked me into being a subject for his experiments.
So it definitely works, splitting their left and right channel. Usefulness, I guess choose your own adventure here. I'm not sure how useful this is, but it definitely is a feature that could be explored, and maybe more useful if you have somebody a little bit further away wearing a wireless lavalier plugged into this microphone. So you have shotgun microphone up close, and then you have somebody that could be 100 feet away wearing a wireless lav rather than one wired into the microphone. That could be a better application. Something I saw somebody online do was plug in like their Rode or DJI microphone transmitter, so the microphone part of the system, actually take the plug from the Deity D4 Mini, plug it into the line in input on that microphone transmitter, and then clip the transmitter to the shock mount or something, and then you have like a self-contained little wireless shotgun mic. So then the receiver plugged into the camera would be the DJI receiver, but the microphone source would be the little shotgun mic. So seems like kind of a cool little thing. Seems a little strange because there's already a microphone on the transmitter you're plugging the shotgun mic into. Seems overkill, but I guess you get a different audio quality out of a shotgun mic than you do one of those wireless lavalier systems. Not sure it's just abundantly handy, but kind of a cool little thing that I hadn't thought of. And apparently it's made possible by the fact that the Deity D4 Mini has some RF shielding on the microphone and the cables and stuff, so you don't get interference from having a transmitting device right close by. So a couple things I've noticed about the Deity D4 Mini, which is definitely a mouthful to say. The shock mount doesn't seem to do a terrific job at deadening any bumps and vibrations and stuff. So you may have noticed as I was walking around vlogging, if I got kind of animated, you may have heard a little bit of thumping in the audio. But what is it that makes this? I definitely have observed this here and there. I don't know that it's necessarily worse than my Rode Video Micro was. I just have been noticing it more here. So that's something to be aware of. You want to be a little careful and not shake the camera around too much if you can help it. And the other thing is the capture pattern. Like I said, being super cardioid, it does capture audio behind. So if you like having that directionality of your microphone, which I have enjoyed that in different applications, like if I got a rushing river behind me that I don't want to have overpowering background noise from, then it's really nice to have a very directional microphone so I can just film facing the opposite direction and I know we're good. That's not really the case with the D4 Mini. So I just walked back over to my wireless lavalier for this last bit of audio. Do these different features about the Deity D4 Mini make it better? Kinda. I mean, sure. I mean, it does stuff that the other budget mini shotgun mics don't do. And it has my favorite feature of this plug placement that really sets it apart on a whole other level. I don't know. I've been pretty happy with it. It's a good option for getting an external shotgun mic for your camera. Does what it's supposed to do and does a pretty good job at it. So just consider those pros and cons I mentioned and make your decision if it's a good microphone for you. 50 bucks or so. I've linked it down below if you want to check it out. And next you can watch this video that's coming up on the screen right here where I talk about some other cool filmmaking topic. I think you will enjoy it. YouTube certainly thinks you will. They are suggesting it to you. So check it out right there and I will see you guys over there.